All right, you guys, want to get back to that breaking news that we've been following in southern Dallas County, southern Dallas, that is. Firefighters on the scene there of an apartment fire. This is near Bonneview Road and Simpson Stewart Road. Looks like we're going to get an update now from Jason Evans of Dallas Fire.
5726. See if he can get his mic. You need to get your mic in? Okay.
Again, as Tashara noted, this is Jason Evans with the fire department.
All right. Jason Evans, Dallas Fire Rescue. JASON EVANS, Dallas Fire Rescue Public Information Officer. So today, right before 10:30, our firefighters were dispatched to a 911 call for a natural gas odor or leak. When we arrived, the location was at the an apartment complex at the 5700 block of Highland Hills Drive. When our firefighters arrived, they went to investigate an apartment building near the entry gate of the complex, where there was a strong smell of gas odor. At some point during the course of the investigation, an explosion took place. Unfortunately, there were 4 firefighters within proximity of the explosion when it occurred. All 4 of them were injured and have been taken to the hospital. In addition to those 4 firefighters, there were 3 civilians who were also injured. From what I've come to understand, everyone, firefighters and civilians included, were all taken to Parkland Hospital. 2 of our firefighters are told to be in critical condition. The other 2 are stable, and the 3 civilians as well are stable. Right now, we are just in the process of working with our investigators. It's going to be an investigation that involves a number of local, state, and federal agencies to help determine exactly what caused the explosion. Right now, our investigators are launching drones to try to get a bird's eye view of the structure itself, determine its integrity, the extent of the damage, and exactly what course of action is going to be taken going forward. I'll take any questions if anyone.
The current status, I'm sorry, in terms of Atmos and any more leakage of gas or any concerns of any buildings right now, to your knowledge?
I do not have that information right now. Atmos does have its technicians on location, assessing the situation, conducting their part of the investigation, but as far as any detail related to that, I would not have that.
Jason, do you know if there was any other gas concern expressed earlier? We've heard from neighbors who said they smelt it overnight, but perhaps did not call it in. Was this the first time you were out at this property today?
Today, this is the first, well, you know what, I can't confirm that this is the first time we've come out. However, we are aware of what residents are reporting, that there was, after we got here, that there was a gas smell that originated as early as last night. That seemed to have taken place after an incident that the police department responded to. However, I have no detail on what that response was all about, other than to say, according to neighbors, that smell of gas did originate at that point in time.
Jason, can you talk about the injuries, sir, at least to the firefighters? What kind of injuries are we talking about? Glass or debris, or were they trapped somewhere?
You know, that's a good question. I don't have that much detail to provide you at this point in time. And to be perfectly honest with you, I wouldn't be able to provide you that much detail. We can only assume at this point that the injuries are on a variety of levels. When you deal with an explosion that caused that much damage to a 2-story apartment building, you can only begin to imagine exactly what kind of impact it could have on a human body, much less one that's that close to it when it takes place.
And we're obviously a distance from this apartment. You were down at the scene. What did you witness with your eyes? What does this look like visually?
When I arrived at the scene, everything was pretty much calmed down, and the incident itself is kind of on the downhill side as far as our emergency response is concerned. The westernmost end of the building suffered significant damage. There does appear to be charring in some of the areas that indicate, in addition to the explosion, that there was flame that took place, and enough of it to cause charring to some of the wood members of the building itself. But the damage looks pretty significant, and officially we cannot imagine that there'd be anything to salvage as it relates to that building going forward.
Is there any concern that anyone's still inside?
Right now, we're still looking into that. I have not spoken with anyone who can confirm that everyone is out or not. That's just not a detail that I have at this point.
Jason, do you have a number as to how many units were destroyed or damaged?
Command, go ahead.
Not at this point. I don't have that.
Secondary.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Jeez. All right. Sorry about that.
The three that were injured, what kind of condition are they in?
I'm told that the 3 civilians who were transported are all in stable condition, as well as 2 of the firefighters. Unfortunately, the other 2 firefighters were listed critical.
Is there fear that there's anybody left on scene that has been injured or may have deceased?
We do not know at this point. However, the damage to the building is pretty extensive. I don't believe that anyone's been able to get inside to make a thorough enough investigation to confirm that everyone's out, but that's still something that we're looking into.
Those civilians, all adults? Are they all adults?
I don't know. I don't have the information on the civilians to confirm that much.
Jason, some residents said they had cuts and things like that. We've seen them even from just around here. How many do you know have suffered minor injuries or that have been treated for minor injuries here?
Unfortunately, I don't have any detail related to minor injuries. I can imagine with an explosion of that magnitude that there were probably people outside of the 3 who we transported that maybe suffered some minor injuries. There's debris all the way across the street and outside the fence from where the apartment building itself is. So I don't have a number for you in that regard to answer your question.
Do those firefighters live in the house? They live in that apartment complex? They live inside those apartments?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do they live inside of those apartments?
The individuals who were I cannot tell you if they actually live there. All I can tell you is that they were there when it took place.
If it continues that we have no fatalities here, do you find that to be incredibly fortunate given the damage that there is there?
Yes, it would indeed. As I said before, the damage is extensive. The collapse itself is extensive, and just to be able to look at it and know what it possibly originated from, that kind of percussion, if anyone was inside that building, we'd be extremely lucky to get past this incident with the injuries that we detailed here.
Jason,
One witness that was over there, Jason, was telling us that she saw bodies flying when there was this explosion. Now, maybe it's not accurate, but is there still some search going on such that maybe there's more to this than we have is
Right now, the entire situation is still fluid. I mean, the structure itself is not very sound. That being the case, investigators have not had a chance to do an interior thorough investigation, and I honestly cannot tell you whether that would actually take place today, just for the safety of the first responders.
Transported 4 firefighters.
7 total, 4 firefighters, 3
Your
civilians.
4 firefighters, are they all men? Are they all from the same station? And also, can you just please describe, you're saying that they were investigating. What does that mean, sir? Were they in a unit when it exploded? I mean, can you just kind of explain what you mean by that?
No, I honestly have no information on the individuals themselves. We have that information. It's just not information that I gathered prior to coming over here to speak with you. As far as where they're from, that wouldn't necessarily be information we disclosed at this point in time. Forgive me. Can you repeat what you asked?
What were they doing before the explosion?
Yeah, the information I have right now is very general, just as far as them investigating. Typically whenever we go out to a gas leak, it's just a matter of having our monitors, kind of going around the area. If we find any areas that have a high concentration, we may go inside of a location. But as far as what the investigation consisted of today, up to the point of the explosion, I don't have that.
Jason, a number of people are watching this broadcast live, and some neighbors told me that they smelled gas as much as 12 hours before this explosion. How important is it for people to call if they smell gas in any part of this region?
Oh, that's a very good question. It's extremely important that if you smell gas, to call 911. We have the equipment, we have the personnel, and we can notify the people who know about it more than we do to come and investigate the situation. Again, we've heard from witnesses that the smell of gas was around as recently as last night. That was following an incident that took place that the police department had responded to. Of course, I don't have any detail related to the incident itself. But that's about how far back that smell goes, as far as I know.
Jason, have they evacuated anybody? How far away this explosion can be felt? I know some homes back there were saying that they couldn't feel it. Do you have any idea?
I do not. I haven't spoken with anybody who actually, explained where they were when they felt it or if they felt it. The best description I can give you.
You guys, you have been listening to Jason Evans with Dallas Fire Rescue, providing us with an update on that explosion out in southern Dallas, telling us the incident happened just before 10:30 this morning. Reports of a gas leak or odor. They went to investigate the situation. That's when the explosion happened. What we know now for firefighters, again, all injured in this situation, 3 civilians as well. They've all been taken to Parkland Hospital. 2 of those firefighters in critical condition, 2 stable. The 3 civilians also stable at this point. They're going to be working with investigators to get the latest information. Of course, we'll stay on top of this. WFAA.com for all those updates.